Oh, hello YouTube. Today in the Naughty Librarian, I'm bringing you a rant review. So, fair warning, things are about to get a little salty. It's actually a double rant review. I read two books that I feel I need to discuss because how did this happen? They've done me wrong, and these are two books I was super hyped to read. They are made out of things I love, and they just failed on multiple levels. Okay, you know what? Let's just get into this. I will drink more as the time goes on. So by the end of the video, who knows how I'm gonna be in real life? We'll find out together. So it physically pains me to have to say this, but I really dislike The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab. I know, it hurts me too to dislike a V.E. Schwab book, but it happened. I was really excited. It's V.E. Schwab and witches, and it's her debut, so I'm like, oh, was she like in the beginning? Was she awesome right out the bat? She's writing about witches. I would love a V.E. Schwab witch story. That sounds dope. And then I read this, and I was like, never mind. Like, it's very obviously a debut. Like, I see little kernels of her future writing style in here. There were some really descriptive passages about the world this took place in, and you could definitely feel like the sense of cold on every page. So it still has that evocative writing style that I've come to love from V.E. Schwab. There's little bits of her future writing style in here. The thing is, this is not her future writing style. This is the past writing style, and it should stay there. My biggest problem with the book is that it's very dull. Legitimately, this is nap time. This is my nap time book. And I'm not saying that facetiously. Like, I literally fell asleep multiple times while reading this. I had to go back and reread a chapter because I had slept through it. Like, oh my goodness gracious, legit nap time book. So if I'm reading a book and it literally lulls me to sleep, it's not holding my attention that well. Fair warning from here on out, this is gonna be spoilery because it's a rant and I need to explain why I'm ranting about things. So you've been warned, there might be spoilers ahead. That being said, The Near Witch, it's about this girl named Lexi, and then she is trying to stop this evil witch who is stealing children from their beds in town. And, like, here's the deal with this witch. Like, I get it. She is upset that the town folk murdered her, like, over 100 years ago, and she's back now to, like, take some revenge. And so I totally get stealing kids for revenge. But then she just, like, plants them in a garden. Like, it's my garden and I'm crazy. I put kids in it. It's like, why? Why are you planting children? She doesn't think they're gonna grow. She's not trying to do anything with them. She just literally planted them. Didn't kill them. Didn't hurt them. She just planted them in the ground for some fucking reason. And they never say why. And why? Like, a lot of the times I felt myself going, why in this book? It's like, girl, take your hocus pocus ass home, you're drunk. Like, I can't with her. Like I mentioned before, this is about a girl named Lexi, and she is trying to stop this witch. And she meets a boy she names Cole, because he doesn't have a name. Ha 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 ha. So she names him Cole. And he is a stranger. And in the town of Near, there are no strangers. Ain't nobody a stranger here. They've all lived here forever. Nobody's new around. So when someone new shows up in town and then kids start going missing, hey, people are going to put one and one together and say, hey, this new kid is stealing the kids. He isn't, but you know what? They don't know that. I would assume it too because people started going missing when this fucker showed up. But anyway, Lexi and Cole, let's talk about them for a minute because there's like an insta-love here where she just knows he's good and pure of heart, and like she's like in love with him and he's in love with her like right away, and it's like, you don't know each other. He doesn't have you invented a name for him. You don't even know his name. You made one up. Like, girl, you don't know the basics. Like, how is this gonna end? Like, I'm just thinking with like my cynical real world heart here. I do understand this is a fairy tale, and in fairy tales things just tend to work out, but like, let's think about this for real. This random guy shows up. You have no idea about anything about him. You don't even know his name. You made one up for him. And then, like, he has no valuable skills. What the fuck does he do all day? How is he going to make money for you if you guys get married? Because this is a very patriarchal society where women aren't doing shit that earns them money. So, like, what are you gonna do? Starve out in the woods? How is he gonna earn money? He has no skills. Besides, he's like hot. Like, I'm sorry, dem cheekbones are only gonna take you so far in life. Like, does he have good credit? No one knows. But that's neither here nor there. This is a fairy tale. La la la, they're in love and it's gonna be perfect and magical and freaking rainbows. The only thing I really, really liked about the story is that there's these old lady sisters who are witches, and they kind of live on the outskirts of town, and they're this crotchety old witch ladies, and I love them because they're very sassy, and they're just like, bitch, we're witches, like, we'll hurt you, what are you doing here? Like, they're very much just like to the point and blunt, and I really enjoyed them. I really would have wanted this story just to be like Lexi and the old lady sister witches like forming a girl gang and like taking down this other witch. Like, that would have been cool. It's just the problem is like that insta love with this guy who she knows nothing about. And then all of a sudden everyone's cool with in the end. It's like, what is happening? I understand it's a fairy tale. I understand, but like, it's not a particularly good one. Basically, my whole like feeling about this book, besides naps, was why. I kept asking why about a lot of stuff because nothing was ever really explained. Like, why is Lexi's uncle Captain Misogyny? Why are all the dudes in this town kind of shitty? Why was he planting children? She didn't expect him to grow. 0% expected him to grow. She just planted them. What was she gonna do with them? There was no further plan besides, I'm gonna plant these motherfuckers. What is happening? Basically, yeah, I'm just gonna stick with the books V. Schwab puts out now and not read the early stuff because I feel like it probably took her a while to get to where she is now, which is awesome and incredible. This one, it hurts me to say I didn't like it. Like, I genuinely wanted to like it. It's a gorgeous cover. It's stylistically really cool. But literal naps. Literal naps. Okay. So, this next book is kind of the piece de resistance of my rage. And here's the deal. Before I even show you what the book is, I have seen this book on Instagram and like other YouTube channels so often, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, have you seen this book? It looks amazing. And that should have been my first clue because everyone says it looks amazing. And it's funny because like I've talked to several people who are like friends of mine who have read it, so I don't know if it's maybe all of our reading taste is similar, but like we're all like, girl, what happened? Oh no. Oh no. Disclaimer before I start ripping into this book. I genuinely want people to love books. So if you read this book and you love it, awesome. That is fantastic. It sucks to not like a book. I'm glad you liked it. I want people to read this book and like it if that's what they're into. That is cool. Personally, like, it had lots of problems, which I will get into. But you know what? Books are made to be read and loved. So if you love it, cool. I'm genuinely happy for you. For me personally, love isn't the word I would use. Woo! So, I kind of hated Wicked Saints by Emily Duncan. And it sucks. Because, like, legitimately, this was one of my most anticipated and hyped books of the year. Like, I was so into it. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I am so in. It's gonna be so good. And then I started reading it. I was like, I was lied to by multiple people. Only after I finished reading it and then I asked other people, hey, so like, did you like it? And they're like, and finally I'm like, why did you say it was good on Instagram? They're like, well, it looks good. And I'm like, ah. So like, I've had this argument already. And like, legitimately, I know I have the alternate cover from Owl Crate, but it's a cool cover. It's a dope title, it's a dope cover, and it has this little like line on it, let them fear her. And even it's printed on the book, let them fear her. So I'm like, ooh, girl, she's gonna be like a cool Mia Corveri type. Like, I'm so in, this is gonna be awesome. And then it wasn't, and I was sad. Let's just say right off the bat, let them fear her, right there, makes no sense to the story. I'll explain. So one of the main characters in this is a girl named Nadia. This is the her you're supposed to be fearing. The thing is, there is nothing to fear about her because she is very dumb and very confused. She spends the entire book, I'm not even joking, the entire book, not knowing what's going on and say, I am confused the whole time. And it's like, I get it, shit's confusing, but like, honey, you're living it. Why don't you understand nothing? Oh my gosh. Like, legitimately, she was so confused by everything. Like, I don't think she could tell which way was up if someone pointed her face at the sky. Like, it was, girl. Nadia is a cleric who can commune with the gods and channel their power. That sounds crazy amazing. I'm super into it. In reality, Nadia is just a very confused girl who hears voices in her head and can do magic sometimes. I don't understand what there is to fear about her. She's not like destroying enemies or saving people. That's it. She's a confused girl who hears voices and can do magic sometimes. That's it. I mean, she's incompetent and can wield really powerful magic, so maybe that's a little scary. You know, it's kind of like a baby with a hammer. No good's gonna come from it. You know what? That's how I've been referring to this book to people when they ask me what I think. I'm like, it's kind of like seeing a baby with a hammer, because that's the best description I can give. How did this baby get this hammer? Why did you give this baby like so much power? The baby doesn't know what to do with it. That's this. And speaking of these characters, there's like this whole thing in this book. The whole point is like, ooh, look at these morally gray characters. Ooh. And I'm like, are they morally gray? They're more like black and white because there's no murkiness about their personalities. I feel like everyone's just like having rapid mood swings. Someone's good one minute and bad the next moment, and then good again, and then kind of bad still. And like no one is both at the same time, because that's what would make a morally gray character morally gray. Someone who's doing something evil for the right reasons. That would be morally gray. Example, Seraphim. He's a prince, and he murders a kid in cold blood. And at the end of the book, he's the hero. And there wasn't anything good about him murdering this kid. Like, he didn't do an evil thing for the right reasons. He did it just to be a son of a bitch. So, that's not morally gray. It's just, he's a son of a bitch, and then at the end of the book, he's like the good guy. That's not, no, it's just mood swings. You're good and you're bad, but at separate times, and it doesn't make sense for your character. Also, there's Malachiez. He's like, I called him Vulture Boy for most of the book. Okay, so Vulture Boy. He starts off as like the epitome of like evil demon guy, and then like he gets moon eyes for Nadia, and he starts being nice guy, but who's like, and then like is evil again at the end for some reason. And it's not like he's good and evil at the same time. It's like mood swings. I am evil. Oh, I love you. Oh, nope, never mind. I love this other thing more. Bye. Like, and maybe it's just me who has a problem here, because maybe people who don't read as many morally gray characters as I do, maybe this works for them. But the thing is, I've read a lot of morally gray characters, and these aren't them. I guess it depends on what your definition is of morally gray. Perhaps for some people, works. For me, doesn't work at all. You have all these moody motherfuckers. Like, what are you doing? Ugh. Whew. Let's talk for a minute about the magic system, because it's screwy. So in this book, they do something called blood magic. Now, from the name of it, you can assume blood is involved. And that's fine. I've seen blood magic in books before. You know, you cut your palm, you do your spell. La-di-da. Blood magic. Now, in this book, there's so much blood all the time. Like, it was silly. Like, it's silly how much blood there is. Girl. It's like every time a character did a powerful spell, they would just hemorrhage from all of their holes, like all of them. And it's like, I would understand like a nosebleed, because you know, noses bleed sometimes, but it's just like your eyeballs and your ears and your mouth and your nose and your hands. It's like everywhere you're bleeding from. And it's like, ew. It's like if I saw one more character turn around and have bloody eyeballs. Like, I was gonna like throw the book across the room. Like, there's only so many bloody eyeballs you can read before it's just ridiculous. And just practically speaking, like, this castle must be a damn mess. Like, those poor servants, you can't keep it clean with these motherfuckers running around hemorrhaging all the time. There's no way to clean up all the puddles. There's just blood puddles everywhere, and there's nothing they can do about it. I just hope they run around with, like, orange juice and cookies all day from all the blood loss happening. It's a damn mess in that castle. Should be ashamed of themselves. And, like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, it'd be funny if I was exaggerating. It's funny that I'm not exaggerating. Like, legitimately, constant hemorrhaging of all of these characters all the time at the same time. It's just like, it's so messy. And the people are constantly covered in blood, and she talks about them being covered in blood. And maybe it's just like a visual she finds cool, and that's why she wrote it in the story. And I mean, yeah, write things you think are cool. Sometimes things can just be cool for the sake of being cool. I'm fine with that. But the problem is, you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and it's stupid. Okay, that's mean. I'm sorry, that was mean. I went too far in that one. But, like, legitimately, this hemorrhaging out your eyeballs all the time. Not just once, like multiple times. Eye blood. Poor servants. Champion. Okay, where was I? Eyeball blood? Okay, so you have that magic system, and then you have, like, Nadia's supposed to be really powerful, and she talks to gods and she channels their power, and I like the vibe of it. It could have been cool, but, like, I just still didn't like it, and that's just a matter of personal taste. I can't really, like, complain about it from a literary standpoint. It was just something that, like, personally I didn't like, so I can't really, like, rag on it for that, but I just didn't feel like it was as cool as it could be. Like, I thought it was gonna be really, really cool, and she was gonna have super cool powers, but a lot of it was just really subtle things. So, again, that's going back to the let them fear her thing, and I'm like, baby with a hammer. Okay, so in the end, did I hate Wicked Saints? No. Arguably no, I didn't hate it. I gave it 2 stars. It did have its moments where I thought it was pretty good. It had some bits of writing I thought were pretty good. It had some quotes in there that I liked. It had some world building that was pretty good, but, like, minimal, because the world building is actually kind of really rocky. Like, there's all these characters in the beginning of the book that are there for, like, a chapter, and they are main characters, and then they're just gone forever, and no one talks about them again. It's just like, why were they there? What's happening? Anyway, parts of this. Very good. I could see this as a good starting point, maybe. Like, maybe this is like this is a debut. Oh my gosh, so it's a debut and another debut. Debuts are rough. Sometimes people hit it out of the park. Sometimes people need a few books before they get really going. So, that being said, I hope a few books from now, like maybe Emily Duncan's gonna knock it out of the park, because she has potential to be able to do that. However, this one does not knock it out of the park. This is a foul ball. Sports. I am out of wine. I drank a lot of it. But you know what? I have more wine. Those are 2 books I read that hurt my soul. I really wanted to like them, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart. It sucks to hate books. I want to like books I read. And if you guys like these books, awesome. I am genuinely super happy for you, because I want you to read books you like, and if you like them, great. I just don't like them, and I thought me being salty would be funny to hear, so I hope you enjoyed it, even if you did like these books. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Are you still hyped to read these after I have explained my problems with them? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like, and if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye. I'm a little drunk.